All right, everybody. Like I was saying, welcome back. And as promised, we are going to be looking at Absolute Batman issue 2. Last time we looked at Comic Explains video. This time we're going to be looking at Comic Historian. I'm actually really enjoying this series. That issue 1 really caught my attention. So let's not waste any more time and go into what issue 2 is talking about here. In 3, 2, 1.
Handle them by himself. Welcome to the Comic Story and Complete Story series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. If you enjoy this story, be sure to support the industry and go check it out at your local comic shop. Absolute Batman is the story of Bruce Wayne in the Absolute Universe, a world where he was never rich, never had a butler, and only lost one of his parents as a child. Now, he is Batman in Gotham and hunting the party animals. All the while, an Agent Pennyworth keeps an eye on him. This is Absolute Batman #2 by Scott Snyder. I hope you enjoy. Gotham Zoo, the past. Tears in his eyes, Bruce bangs on the door to the bat enclosure, unaware that his father's body is slumped against it. He shouts for his father, but there's no answer. Behind him, the noise has stirred the nocturnal creatures, and one hisses at him, crawling towards him. The glass shatters as the colony rushes at him, seemingly called by destiny. Bruce screams as the darkness overwhelms him. Now,
Apt reaction,
Alfred
honestly.
continues to observe the party animals, who continue their war against Gotham without any apparent purpose, while Batman continues his war against crime. Batman meets the party animals at the Gotham Aquarium.
I swear, that cape is so dope.
Even after being stabbed several times. He rushes through the crowd, dropping several of them with brutal haymakers and clotheslines. He whirls to find the gang members swarming.
Are those knives sticking out of his back? Dang!
Rage and turns, smashing through the glass and flooding the entire room with water. Batman leaps up and hangs from the ceiling. Wow, you got us wet. Not like you can stay up there forever. The party animals shout as they begin to regain their footing. But Batman reaches into his belt and pulls free a pellet. He drops it into the water, and in moments, it begins to swirl green and smoke. The pellet was a formula that turned salt water into hydrochloric acid.
Oh,
Minutes
shoot.
later, the party animals are rushing outside. Their skin and clothes smoke as they run into the waiting arms of the GCPD. And Batman is already gone, disappearing into the tunnels beneath the city. Alfred watches all of this on the CCTV that he's tapped into. He's been tracking Bruce, observing him when he can. He knows that Batman has bunkers throughout the city that he hides in, almost like caves. He walks
And oddly enough, in the shape of a bat.
Batman to his high-rise base of operations. Briefly, he thought of warning the hero, but it turns out Bruce didn't need the help. The explosion could be seen throughout the city. Alfred sighed as he watched the monitors. In the military, he was taught to advance forward and retreat and regroup. But he's starting to think that this Batman knows nothing about retreating and regrouping.
Oh, dang. This is very, which Batman movie was it? Dark Knight Returns.
The next day, Mayor Gordon leans back in his hospital bed. The TV is on, with the reporters talking about the war between Batman and the party animals. The reporters are talking to former Mayor Hill, who has announced his run for re-election, noting that crime has gotten out of control under Mayor Gordon, and that the party animals and Batman are just the tip of the iceberg. Turn it off, Bullock! Gordon coughs as he leans back in his bed and sighs. Commissioner Bullock nods and turns off the TV. Sure, Jimmy. I just thought you'd want to know what's going on. He shrugs. Bullock glares at the final images of Batman. We need to take him down fast, Bullock snaps, explaining that Batman is forcing the animals to up their game in response to his presence. You do remember when he saved your life, right? Barbara Gordon asks from her seat at the edge of Jim's bed. But Bullock whirls on her. Barb, for all we know, he's on their side. Some kind of secret partner, trying to make us look bad.
Alright, chill out there, James Jonah Jameson.
The door opens, and Martha Wayne steps inside. Sorry to interrupt, she says as a greeting as she crosses over to Barbara and gives her a big hug. The four talk for a moment before Bullock and Barbara are called away on police business. The party animals are tearing up the Port Authority. Bullock sighs as he motions for Barbara to follow him, and they exit the room. Gordon sighs as he watches his daughter leave. What is this world we've given them, Mar? When we were their age, we were crazy, sure, thinking we could change it all. But it still felt possible then, you know? Gordon asks wistfully. Martha nods as she opens a window and lights a cigarette. Yeah, well, I guess they'll just have to be crazier than we were, she says with a shrug as she takes a few puffs. You sound like Thomas, Gordon tells her. She nods. I miss him, Jimmy. It's funny. I actually think he would have liked Batman, she admits. She hands the cigarette to Jim, and he takes a few puffs from it, coughing only a little. You know, I still think about it every day. When we found him, Gordon says. His memory.
I was expecting him to just take a puff and just go, I ain't gonna lie, Martha, I like him too. Everybody likes him. Thing is, we just can't admit it. The world can never know.
Back to finding Bruce in the bat enclosure, covered in animals as they swarmed over him. He didn't even see Bruce at first underneath all the bats.
Dang. What did he do to make those bats that mad? No, I'm playing.
Flash back to Bruce as a child. He became subdued after his father's death, withdrawn. Didn't want to speak to her, didn't want to see his friends. He had just shouted at her, yelled for her to leave him alone. She didn't know it, but he had thrown his science fair medal out the window and collapsed on his bed as tears spilled from his eyes. Now, elsewhere in the city, Bruce Wayne has accepted Waylon Jones's invite and joins his old crew for poker. They gasp in shock and launch friendly barbs from across the room as Bruce removes his jacket and sits down. Gracing us with your presence? Oswald shouts. But Bruce shrugs and smiles. Lay off. I've been busy, he tells him. Bruce, will you please sit down so I can go back to counting cards? Edward says. Harvey begins to deal, flashing a politician's smile. We're playing for the big pot. 1,700 and change up for grabs, he explains to Bruce. Bruce glances over at the empty seat, normally reserved for Selina. Anyone heard from her lately? Edward asks. Waylon shrugs. I got a postcard a couple months ago from Cairo, he tells them. The old group of friends sit and play for a while, swapping old stories and discussing current events. Finally, Bruce ups the ante and puts a party animal mask on the table, bringing gasps of surprise from his friends. Where do you get that thing, man? Oswald asks, leaning in to peer through the mask's dark eyes. I found it. I'm heading the repair crew at City Hall, Bruce tells them with a shrug. Edward leans over it, studying the machine work and electronics. I see 4 different chips in the outer weave, Edward tells them, explaining that it could act as a GPS and tell you where the party animals would attack next. He leans even closer, his eyes widened. But these other chips, these are Premier, he says softly. Edward glances at his friends as he lifts the mask. I'll be borrowing this, he says with a smile. Bruce glances at Oswald, and the conversation shifts to what the party animals could want in Gotham. The crew continues to play cards as Oswald notes that the gang doesn't seem to want anything. As far as I can tell, these guys just want to wreck the city, Oswald says before folding. Harvey thinks the whole thing is political, that everything Roman and the party animals are after is power and money. Harvey doesn't know much about the party animals, but he has heard that former Mayor Hill has been taking in a lot of money for his re-election campaign. This guy I know works for him, says Hill is riding high on some new purse he calls his golden chest. Harvey explains as the game ends. Later, Batman slips through the window of Hill's campaign office, moving smoothly through the shadows despite his size. He picks the lock to Hill's office and cracks his computer, searching through the files. "Come on, where are you?" he hisses in the darkness as he searches through the files. But then he comes across a folder labeled Arkham. Suddenly, the monitors on the wall light up, revealing Roman Sionis's masked face. "Well, hello there. Finally, Batman, we meet. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to chat," the villain says. Batman glares at the image, but Black Mask only smiles. "I like you, I do. You're my kind of party, so I'll make you a deal. Everything you've ever wanted. But you do have a problem. We tipped off the whole GCPD, and my people have the building surrounded. Still, I'll be waiting for your call. All you have to do is survive," Roman says before the monitors go dark. Batman turns as party animals in the building over launch a rocket at the office. Fire and smoke fill the room as the rocket explodes. But when the smoke clears, Batman is standing ready. He moves fast.
Dang, Batman's a friggin' Terminator.
Forcing the doors open, he leaps down the shaft until he lands on one of the cars. He cracks the maintenance hatch to find Alfred Pennyworth waiting for him. "Hit me out," the Brit says as Batman drops down next to him. "You're a good detective, kid, but I've learned some things about the party animals. They're not what they seem," Alfred explains, telling Batman that he thinks they can help each other. "Just give me a chance to explain," he continues. Batman stares at him for a moment. 30 seconds, he growls. Alfred nods. "All right, thank you. But first we need to get out of here. I have a car hidden out back, unless you have one," Alfred says. Batman nods and hits a few hidden switches. "You're standing in it," he says, gritting his teeth as the whole elevator car suddenly lurches forward. Outside, the police are shocked.
What the heck is that?
Dump truck crashes through the wall and drives over their vehicles. Meanwhile, in the past, young Bruce is crying on his bed.
Back up.
Calls to him from the crowd outside. The police are shocked.
What is that? Is that supposed to be the Batmobile in this universe? That's putting the Bat Tank to shame. Oh my gosh, what is that, like an excavator? What the heck? How did he get one of those?
A massive bat-themed dump truck crashes through the wall and drives over their vehicles. Meanwhile, in the past, young Bruce is crying on his bed, but a voice calls to him from the window. "You lose something?" the girl asks. Bruce looks up in shock at Selina sitting in the window. She smiles at him and motions him to follow her. "Get up. You're coming with me." And so the Absolute Batman continues. Bruce and Alfred have seemingly teamed up, with the party animal attacks only getting...
Wow. Closing thoughts here. The freaking Bat Tank just stole that. The Bat Excavator just stole the entire video. Cause what the heck? So, okay. We have Batman here. Black Mask offered him a deal. Is he gonna take it? Probably not. But interested to see where that goes. Looks like he's teaming up with Alfred, who also looked like who healed up pretty well from his previous batarang barrage to the face. Do with that what you will. But I'm looking forward to seeing issue 3, which we will watch next time.